Good evening and welcome to Ox Sports Unleashed, Series 2, Episode 4, a Halloween special. How spooky can it be on StreamYard tonight? Not live in the studio. We've had all sorts of problems. I'm not feeling 100%. So my germs were not going to be given to all and sundry at Ox Sports Unleashed. So we thought this was the only way, especially as our producer also has gone down with an illness and a broken tooth, no less. So
it's Halloween, isn't it? So all the horror.
Typical, isn't it? So our wishes go out to everybody on that. And apologies that we're not coming live, but hopefully
we are live. We are live.
Well, we're live, but we'll hopefully have
it's the Masked Cricketer
impact, won't we? That's the key, and that's hopefully what we can share. Wherever you are watching us, whether it's in living rooms, your bathrooms, your hot tubs, your jacuzzis, welcome to Ox Sports Unleashed, and thanks for joining us. Broomsticks everywhere tonight. So I think if we can crack on and do less than an hour tonight, K-Dog, it would probably be a minor miracle. And if there's technical issues, keep your fingers crossed. But there are some great things coming up. We've got a bit of a dodgeball special, not as much as we'd like to show, but we got a little bit of that. We've got Gus and Flo Miller at our end of the We Are the Millers. That's quite interesting as well. And all our normal roundup of sports and fixtures and so on and so forth. So please join us. Buckle yourselves in for the next hour or so and see how we go and see if my nose doesn't run whilst we're on air. Over to you.
Yeah, well, it feels like the Masked Cricketer all over again, doesn't it? My broomstick, which is normally in the corner, Darryl, which I should have put there today. Shouldn't I have all days to have my broomstick in the corner? Today would have been the day, but it's over in the other corner. So it is around, so it is in the room. So, I'm not going to take the mickey out of you being ill, Darryl, but I have a funny feeling that you might be a little bit run down after being put through your paces in the dodgeball earlier in the week. We went down to Oxfordshire Thunder Dodge. What a great name for a dodgeball team. And we've got a bit of a teaser today, a little bit of a teaser of what we're going to show. It became a bit of a challenge, Woodsy, because I took one look at what it was all about, and I thought that's going to be absolutely destroying for me. So we let the old man have a go instead. So we'll have a look at that later. And as you said, we've got lots of all our regular stuff. We've got football coming up shortly, rugby results, and the cricket, of course, and Lockline and Ride. How can we possibly forget Lockline and Ride? Mary, Mungo and Midge. But as per usual, even though we're on a stream rather than live in the studio, we're going to first of all round up Oxford City from last weekend. They've had a real tough season so far, really, really difficult. And they travelled all the way up to Greater Manchester on Saturday. I followed them up the M6, and for once the M6 wasn't too bad, which was good. And they played Radcliffe on what was, I have to say, a glorious day. Everybody told me that it always rains in Manchester, but it was absolutely glorious, very warm, very pleasant. And Oxford City put in a decent performance. And we've got some highlights now, courtesy of Radcliffe Football Club, who, by the way, Darryl, were a lovely, lovely club. And I made an effort to thank them all because they were so welcoming. And so this is the highlights from Radcliffe versus Oxford City coming up.
Just a little word of warning. The audio here is a little bit echoey, so hopefully it comes across okay. Here we go.
Indeed, it has been, but we'll see what comes from this set piece here. Dudley floats on towards the back post. Roscoe's going to challenge, gets over his man. Fairly in the eyes of the referee. Jackson plays it back to the area. Smith should be underneath this one. Tried to well that. Tunde Owolabi has scored yet again. Rick Smith with the assist as he's hooked it into the area. Owolabi has any good strike there was in that 6-yard box, ready to drive into the roof of the net.
Well, he only needed one chance, didn't he? It was an emphatic finish by Tunde Owolabi, a fantastically delivered ball in from Rick Smith, and then there was Tunde Owolabi to do the easy job, to slam it home, and Radcliffe do take a 1-0 lead.
Neither keepers really had gloves probably been dirty, really, in terms of having to make shots, force any shots to be saved. They've had a couple where they've had to catch from like crosses and stuff, but that's the main thing really, is it's a dangerous ball. Seen McKechnie finds Andrews, it's round 2 out, and Andrews has equalised!
And Corey Andrews
just before the break. Corey Andrews played through by McKechnie. We had the first chance of that, first kind of ball we saw was only a couple minutes before, and that was a bit too long. He got the weight of this on right, McKechnie, and Andrews rounds Hugh out and has an empty net and levels it.
As came on, Dudley takes the corner now towards that near post. Nice Roscoe saved on the goal line. It's a great save by Mackenzie Lyle, who just flung himself across to this right hand side. Looked like it was going to nestle into that. Looks to go for that crossfield switch towards Roddy, and it's a fantastic touch from Roddy to bring it into the path of McEachran, who gets the shot off, and it's a good save by Ewell, but he can only parry it as far as the 15 with Tom Scott. And Oxford City are now taking the lead here at the Newman, and they've turned this game on the head. They trailed by 1 goal, and now they lead by the 1. It is now Radcliffe 1, Oxford City 2. Hewell just couldn't keep a hold of the ball, and he just parried it into the path of Tom Scott for Maynard.
Callum Rowe's going to be on any moment. Oh, it's given away by Roscoe to McEachran. Plays a 1-2. McEachran's in 1-on-1, spots it, and it's 3-1 to Oxford City. Just McEachran has slotted that one away in the remaining 13 minutes. Gave it away cheaply and been punished.
We certainly haven't. We touched on in previous weeks, those individuals haven't been there.
I think you might have heard me quite a lot there, shouting over the mics. Apologies for that. I was getting quite excited, Daryl.
It sounded like you were in competition with the Radcliffe commentary team. Actually, it was quite.
Well, you know, you got to be excited when Oxford City score 3 goals on the road, haven't you? So,
absolutely, and a good result.
I have to say though, yeah, it really was a good result. It was a terrific performance, particularly in the second half. What wasn't shown there actually was the ball across from Andre Burley for the 3rd goal was a sweeping crossfield ball all the way from one flank to the other. Terrific ball across, and yeah, it's a really good performance. And they obviously have not yet strung together back-to-back wins this year. So this weekend they are at home to Southport, and they are absolutely flying. Southport, they're just outside the playoffs, so that's going to be another tough one. That's at Court Place Farm. Oxford City kick off early at 12:30. Oxford United rather kick off early at 12:30. So maybe a chance for some Oxford United fans to get themselves down to Court Place Farm for the National League game as well. 2 games in one day, perhaps.
Absolutely. And hopefully their winning form can continue. That takes us quite nicely to the roundup of last weekend's fixtures with our normal duo of Lock and Ride. No Roar of the Lion this week again. It will be, as I like to call them, Abbott and Costello. Here's Lock and Ride.
Saturday saw Oxford United lose 2-0 away at table-topping Sunderland, their first loss in 5 games. So not a happy trip to the northeast for the yellow side of the city. But Patrick Lock, a far better day up in the north for Oxford City fans, Patrick.
Yeah, two away wins in 2 now. We hadn't won a single one in 2024 before a couple of weeks ago. And now, a bit like London buses, wait for forever for 1 and then 2 come along at once. But yeah, I mean, again, I didn't travel, but from what I've heard, it was another good performance from City, and especially so this time having to come back from a goal down. So positive steps for Ross Jenkins, and I think hopefully things are now looking upwards for City.
And Alfie Potter still putting in a good shift as well for Oxford City, Richard Patrick.
Yeah, again, I wasn't there to see it myself, but from what I've heard, that Alfie was pretty much running the show alongside Zach McEachran, I think. So the 2 of them causing havoc, I think, in the northeast.
No game for Banbury United, Patrick. But Jamie Heatney wins his Didcot Town side, lose to 2 late goals, and he doesn't seem very happy in his post-match interview, does he, Patrick?
No, Yeah, well, I mean, we heard last week, didn't we? He was very frustrated after their 3-2 defeat, and I think unfortunately he's the same, isn't he? This week, they hosted Exmouth Town at the Luke Meadow Stadium on Saturday, and there was 2 90th-minute goals that saw them go down 2-0 there. And as you say, cut a figure of a very frustrated man yet again, and he spoke to Daz King at full time after the game.
It's frustrating. We've been good here, but today poor again, and it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. You think you've turned the corner with it a bit, don't you? And then
when you're not playing well, you just go right 0-0. Let's just go 0-0. Everyone go home. You go on the coach. We go in there. Let's forget about it.
And like you say, 0-0 for probably a fair result. Because I mean, they've not really overly tested Lee for 90 minutes.
Yeah, we had a couple early on, didn't we? Chances. Well, not chances, but shots. Baz and Zach, and we had a couple, but we had a little bit of a threat from a corner. But after that, nothing. We didn't really get a response from them at half time. I wanted a response from them. I wanted us to step up a gear and get another 15-20% out of them. Didn't get that. Sat deep again, invited them on. But yeah, just frustrating, mate. Frustrating because.
All right, so Tame United game was a complete contrast to Didcot Towns, and a rare goal for Justin Louis, Patrick, as well.
Yeah, we love him scoring, don't we, at his age? But Tame have had a really good start to the season, and it continued, and they came out of the blocks really quickly on Saturday. They were 3-0 up after just 20 minutes against Hertford Town at the ASM Stadium. Curtis Brown gave them the lead inside a minute, actually, before Tom McElroy and Dan West both scored before the 20-minute mark. Nothing else until late in the game. But as we say, Jefferson Louis, I think he scored last week as well. Made sure he's on the score sheet. And I think you said, Colin, it was a penalty, was it, that he scored?
Was indeed. We've got a clip from the goal as well.
Yes, and I'm sure producer Wes will have put this over the top of what we're saying right now. So hopefully you can see it in action. So he grabbed the fourth with just a couple of minutes to go. A result that sees them remain in 7th place in the division, but only a point off the playoffs. So sure they'll be hoping to push up and get one of those playoff places, but obviously still a lot of the season to go.
All right, so no game for Kidlington, Patrick, but North Lee's season continues to go from bad to worse.
Yeah, we're talking about a 4-0 win for an Oxfordshire side, and unfortunately it was the same scoreline, a 4-0 home win, but it was Welwyn Garden City who defeated North Lee 4-0. So not much to shout home about, unfortunately. They remain in the relegation zone at the moment, but didn't drop to 20th. They're still Kidlington is still 20th in the division, having not played, but they're still 19th, just above on goal difference at the moment. So looking a little bit, both teams looking in a little bit of trouble at the moment. But like I said, still a long way to go in the season.
All right, Patrick, take us through the rest of the weekend's local football results, please.
Yeah, so obviously we covered steps 2 to 4 already. Obviously Banbury United didn't have a game in step 3 either, we should mention. But step 5, the big result of the weekend was Milton United winning at Wembley. That joke will never get old, will it? Of course, it wasn't the main stadium. It was just a trip down the road. And again, it's another team that got off to an absolute flyer. They were 3-0 up at half-time. Cameron Mills, Steph Humphreys and Louis Joyce giving them a 3-0 lead before the break. Bradley Rowe both of them gave them a 4-0 lead right in the stroke of the end of the game at 90 minutes. And actually, we can hear what Christian Lawrence said after the game. And obviously, he was a very delighted man. Especially with their first half dominance, he was particularly pleased with. He spoke to Milton United TV at full time.
Evening, Chris. Wembley 1, Milton 4. Can you tell me your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we battered them. 45 minutes, we battered them.
Yeah,
in every aspect. I think we even the goal we scored the third one, when they had their 10 minutes, we still looked in control.
Yeah.
All right, and the game was done. All right, and then in fairness to them, they come out and they changed their shape. They threw the kitchen sink at it. And I will give credit to them that they made us think and they made it hard for us. We give away a silly, sort of silly penalty against the run of play. And we let them get in the game and it becomes a sort of horrible 20 minutes. But even that, we took it. I thought the ref did everything he could to sort of give it their way, but it's a horrible place to come to. And, you know, I feel we've done ourselves justice.
Unfortunately, not much else to shout about in that division. Wallingford and Crowmarsh and Ardley United were both defeated. They were defeated against Hilltop and Harefield United, respectively. But Edenton Sports, they were victorious in the United Counties Premier on Saturday. They won 2-1 at home to Northampton Silbury Rangers. Callum Convey gave them an early lead in the first half, and just after half-time, Ethan Champkins made it 2. Northampton did get one back, but wasn't enough to see them get an equaliser late in the game. So that was a big win there for Edenton Sports. In Step 6 action, Wantage Town were in league action against Droitwich Spa, and it was actually an 8-goal thriller there, but unfortunately Wantage Town came on the wrong end of that. Droitwich winning 5-3 at Alfredian Park there. Whilst the only other team in action were Carterton Town, but they were in Hellenic Challenge Cup action. They hosted Bewdley Town, but were on the wrong end of a heavy 6-0 defeat there, which saw them exit the cup. On Sunday, and 2 goals in each half actually saw Oxford United women to a 4-0 win over Billericay Town. Zoe Creaney, Leah Burridge gave the U's a first half lead before Phoebe Poole and Adele Lindbake scored after the break to secure them a convincing win, which saw them remain second in the Women's National League South. Abingdon United, they were in Women's National League Division 1 South East action. They were defeated 2-1 away at Worthing Women, which was actually a much closer scoreline than they had in the Women's FA Cup a few weeks before. So getting a bit better in that, I guess. Finally, Oxford City women, they had a thriller actually away at Woodley United. Emily Harris and Ellie White both scored a brace, something we said a lot last year actually. They scored a lot of goals for City's women. While Ellie Walecki and Izzy Bradley scored also in a 6-3 win in the Southern Region Women's Football League. I know Woodley caused them a few issues. I think got it back within a goal at one point to 4-3, I think, but City scored 2 late goals to ensure that they remain second in the Southern Region Women's Football League Premier. So that's what's happened over the weekend, Colin, and back to you to go back to the studio.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Yes, and back to the main studio for much more Oxford Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks there to Patrick Logg and Colin Ride, Abbott and Costello for this week. Brilliant effort again. The tables, results and upcoming fixtures will be on later in the show, as will a little bit of excerpt, a little bit of a teaser for the dodgeball, and also our last chapter or installment of We Are the Millers. So stay tuned for that. Basically, we also had the results for Oxford City Stars this week, who had a good result actually on Sunday, using Patrick's catchphrase there. They ran out 4-2 winners against Cardiff Fire. Scorers Peacock, Williams, Lydiard and Turglins. Really good results. So hopefully that's a start of putting some results together. Their weekend ahead, as you can see there, they're playing the Dynamos this week. That's a face-off at 5:45 on Sunday, the 3rd of November. And all the other sides in action, the Rising Stars also on Sunday, but the City Stars and Rising Stars and the Midnight Stars all in action on Saturday, the 2nd of November. And if it's a home game, get along to the Ox Pens and support the Oxford City Stars. They would be really pleased to see you there. And it is a great atmosphere, I have to say. So, do please go along if you can.
Yeah, thanks, Woodsy. And if you are interested in Oxford City Stars, you can also visit their website, oxfordcitystars.com. There's ticket information on there. And there's not many sports around the world where you can have 45 shots apiece in a game. So it just goes to show that it really is all action. I know you had a great time there last year, Woodsy. Hopefully we'll get down there again sometime soon and get some material and some footage from Oxford City Stars, because they are a team to be proud of in Oxfordshire. And that little segue, another team to be proud of, and that is dodgeball. And Daryl, myself, and Patrick went down to John Mason's school on Monday evening to feature really a sport that is very, very big in the United States. I spoke to a couple of colleagues at work today who said that they played it when they were at school, Mr. Woods, 60 years old, thought he would have a crack at it as well. So dodgeball is, and this is why he's on the screen today rather than in the studio, because he's a little bit worse for wear after the dodgeball exploits of Monday. But it's a really entertaining, enjoyable sport. I mean, first of all, before we show the footage, we want to say a very big thank you to Oxfordshire Thunder Dodge, because it was a really, really enjoyable evening. We were there a lot longer than we anticipated. Woodsy thought he was going to do about 5 minutes. He ended up doing an hour and a half. And this is a little teaser. We'll be featuring dodgeball a little bit more over the coming weeks, but this is a little bit of a teaser of the sort of stuff that Woodsy put himself through on Monday evening.
Dodgeball has gone through several evolutions at the moment, and it's a real growing sport, mainly because we're trying to, I guess, put you in line with the US a little bit. But it's an awesome sport. It's very easy to pick up. So 6 versus 6, 5 balls played. Essentially, it's a very back and forth game where you aim to kind of either hit an opponent by throwing the ball at them, catch them out, and get a team member back. It's essentially an elimination game. It goes on for about half an hour to 45 minutes. You've got 2 halves, and it consists of sets of 3 minutes, essentially. So dodging, incredible thing, facet of the game. There's a few different wings of it. So obviously there's the dodging. There's catching. So if someone throws it, if you can catch it, then you get team member back and they're out. So it's double points. If you can throw really well, that's great. If you can block with the ball, that's an amazing strategy. So you can kind of defend your team members, kind of retain the ball retention. Also, if you're going to go out, you can actually just ricochet up for your team members to get a follow-up catch. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade at that point. So.
There you go. Thank you to Peter Charish, the development officer for Oxfordshire Thunder Dodge, or Oxfordshire Dodgeball Club, for just giving us a little bit of the basics of dodgeball. And I can assure you, from watching Woodsy, it ain't as easy as it looks. It looks a bit knackering to me. And Daryl was blowing out of his proverbial by the end of Monday evening, which is why he's on the screen today. Apologies again just for the slight sound issues there. I hope it didn't spoil the enjoyment of watching that. And we'll bring a little bit more from Oxfordshire Thunder Dodge over the coming weeks, and we'll also try and keep a track on their fixtures and their results, because they are essentially, Daryl, flying the flag for Oxfordshire in a not a new sport, but a sport that maybe a lot of people don't necessarily know a huge amount about.
Yeah, absolutely. They are right. They're actually second in their league at the moment. So that's really, really good. There's some really good national championship games coming up. So, it's exciting stuff. And I don't want to give too much away, because you did interview me through the after the event or during the event. And I don't
when you were trying to catch your breath.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but I have to say I've really enjoyed the evening. It was a fantastic event. And they looked after me very well. Let's put it that way. So I have to say thank you to all the guys there. It was a brilliant night. I loved every single second of it. And like Kieran says, we will be back, with a bit more meat on the bone as we edit all the footage we took, because we did take quite a lot of footage. You'll see me dodging and diving and all sorts. So a good little package coming up in the coming weeks, as well as an exclusive interview with a certain James Coles, who's off to he's in Hong Kong actually with the England Sixes at the moment, with Ravi Bopara being captain. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But we'll have the interview regarding his upcoming trip for England Lions in South Africa. So we'll be, he's a busy boy at the moment. He opened up the Future Leaders Academy this week at the Sixes. He's all over the place at the moment. So it was good to catch up with Colsey and see what he's doing and so on and so forth. And what I say at this point, it was scrolling down the bottom there earlier. Please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to monetize the channel so that we can put some money back into grassroots sports in our wonderful county of Oxfordshire. We can only do that with your help by subscribing to the channel. So if you haven't already, why not? And please do for the future. And a good point also at this stage is to say, if you've got any clips of any footage of any sport in the area, goals of the week, we haven't had too many goals of the week, please send your clips to our email address. It's scrolling down the bottom there, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com.
Yeah, thank you very much, Woodsy. So yeah, absolutely. But over the coming weeks, up until Christmas, we've got an awful lot of sports we're going to be featuring. We're hoping to feature an upcoming darts player, certainly some snooker. We're going to head down to the Oracle Club at Abingdon in the coming weeks, because Oracle have a world champion at their club, which we will bring you in a couple of weeks' time, no doubt. Love these little teasers, Daryl, because snooker in Oxfordshire, it's actually a very high participation sport. There's lots and lots of people, lots of clubs. There's an Oxford District League. There's also a Didcot District League, and for Blake, just as help, we mentioned the Wallingford District League as well. Blake made it clear to me the other day. There's Wallingford District League as well, so we'll try and feature as much as we can in snooker over the coming weeks as well. Before we move on to the interview with Gus and Flo, Meet the Millers, or whatever Daryl called it, we're now going to bring you our regular weekly results roundup from all the football, all the way down to the Whitney District League and the North Berks League, and also the rugby results from the weekend that's just gone. There you go. That's all the results from the weekend just gone, from the football and the rugby union. I think performance of the week. We'll have a performance of the week this week, Daryl, because John Brodley came in, didn't he, last year? Oxford coach. They had a fantastic, cracking win in Bucks and Oxford tribute to Counties North. Nice long name. They beat Milton Keynes, scored well over 50 points. So well done to Oxford. Really good to see them doing really well. Just before we move on to the tables and the fixtures, just a quick good luck to Ben Cox. Actually, it'd be remiss of us not to mention Coxie, who's our number one fan, and he's got a sticker on his car, and he is competing for the last time this season in the Walter Hayes Trophy this weekend at Silverstone, and we just want to wish Ben all the best for that final race of the season. We'll then hopefully be getting Ben back into the studio at some point in the coming weeks, because he's something that we've been following, as they down over the last 18 months or so, and a very talented young man, and very unlucky not to win the Formula Ford. He was pretty close in the end, and had some really good performances during the Formula Ford season this year. And Ben Cox will go in the Walter Hayes Trophy this weekend. So good luck, Coxie.
Couple of things on Ben, actually, K-Dog, quite interesting. He's got poppies on his car this week, which is brilliant. And also, he is due to come into the studio as our live guest next week. However, he may well be appearing in a film celebrating the history of Mercedes. So his schedule of he might want to go there rather than
stand us up.
Oh. Yeah, well, I saw.
Ben, what are you doing? No, but seriously, all the best, Ben, on Saturday. Fingers crossed that you have a good weekend.
Good luck, Ben.
Okay, right. We're going to have a look at the tables now. If Woodsy loads up the screen, my eyesight's not great because I've got very bad glasses. So in League Championship, EFL Championship, Oxford United, their 2-0 defeat to Sunderland saw them just drop into the bottom half of the table, but they are still unbeaten at home, and they are at home to Swansea City this weekend, as I say, with a 12:30 kickoff. So hopefully we'll see Oxford United pushing back up in the right direction, because they have got a fantastic home record so far this season. In the Vanarama National League, Oxford City's win at Radcliffe, well, that finally pulled them out of the bottom four. 3 wins now from their 13 games so far. A game against Southport coming up this weekend. Sorry, Woodsy, just jumped on your fire there. But they leapfrogged Radcliffe, who dropped back into the bottom 4, and Oxford City hopefully on the right path now, heading up the table. Into the Southern League Division 1 Central, Tame United, Daryl, that Jefferson Louis, 45 years old, 51 clubs Jefferson Louis had, by the way. We worked that out the other day. 51 clubs. He's 45 years old, still banging in the goals. And their win over Hertford on Saturday, 4-0, saw Tame United move up to 7th in the Division 1 Central of the Southern League. At the other end of the table, well, the table is not quite up to date, because Kidlington actually won last night against Leighton Town, and that means that they've leapfrogged North Lee, but Kidlington's still in the bottom 4. North Lee, they lost 3-0 on Tuesday away to Beaconsfield, so they've just picked up the one solitary win so far. So hopefully we'll see both of those sides improving over the coming weeks. But one of Kidlington getting their first their win rather against Leighton. In the Premier Division Central, Banbury United were without a game on Saturday, and they therefore didn't move up or down. They're still in 7th, just outside the playoff places, but in a pretty good position as they head into the weekend. Division 1 south of the Southern League, Didcot Town. Well, it's very unusual to hear Jamie Heapy quite so frustrated from that defeat at the weekend, a 2-0 defeat, but they were 0-0 going into stoppage time. Unfortunately, that meant that Didcot dropped down the table to 11th, but hopefully, again, similar to all the other clubs, that they will pick up and head back towards the playoff places in the coming days and weeks. Into the Women's National League, Oxford United, they are just 3 points off the top spot. Hashtag United are top of the table. United, though, with 7 wins from their 10 games on 22 points. And in the Southern Regional Women's Football League, Oxford City's win at the weekend sees them stay level on points with Ascot United, although Ascot do have a game in hand, but City 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat so far from their Premier Division season.
So as we can see, our sides are going quite well. They're getting into the right areas of the divisions they're in. And as K-Dog alluded, Oxford United, 12:30 start at home to Swansea City on Saturday. And at National League North, Oxford City are also at home to face Southport. So I hope they can keep that winning run going. In Southern League Premier Central, Banbury United also at home. They host Hitchin Town at 3 o'clock. And 3 o'clock, Didcot Town are away to Tavistock.
What a trip and a half.
That is away, yeah, definitely. And then in Southern League Division 1 Central, Tame are away to Biggleswade. Northley have a home tie against Aylesbury United. And Kidlington face Rail Bedford. So good luck to all of those teams. And then FA Women's Cup on Sunday, the 3rd of November, Oxford United against Actonians, 1 p.m. start. And in the Women's National League South, City are on their travels locally. Local derby, Wycombe Wanderers. So let's hope they can get the spoils back from there. And Aberdeen United in Women's National League Division 1 Southwest are away to Maidenhead United. So that about gives us all the fixtures for the coming week. Like we said before, where do you get all these results? You can't get them in the local press. You can't get them anywhere but Ox Sports Unleashed. So, like I say, send any clips to that email address, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com.
As I just mentioned, with the Oxford United game kicking off at 12:30, I reckon with a good following wind, if anybody wants to take in 2 games in the day, they may well be able to get down to Court Place Farm for the game against Southport, and that'll be really, really good because they did play well last week. It's probably the best performance I've seen them produce this year. Deserved win. And get yourself down to Court Place Farm on Saturday for Vanarama National League North action. Just one other thing, I'm going to mention this because I know he might well be watching. I work with Jack Sale, he of Jerome Sale's offspring, and he asked me to mention that he scored one of the goals last Saturday against FC Mills in their 4-1 win. Stonefield Reserves beating FC Mills 4-1. I asked him if he had footage of it. He hasn't, but you never know. He might get some footage for us at some point. So well done to Jack Sales.
Yeah, brilliant. And thanks again there. Coxie may well be. He says it's a selection process, so it depends if he gets in that film or not.
If he does, we'll want his autograph, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get him to Hollywood.
We'll see how he goes. That takes us on to our final instalment of We Are the Millers. Wes Spearman, I'm going to have words with him. You'll find out why after he's edited this bit together, but it is quite an amusing start. So I've got to give Wes a little bit of credit for this. Fair play. And this is why we do it. We have a bit of fun. And we don't take ourselves too seriously, but this is I think it's quite a fun interview. Enjoy Gus and Flo Miller. I was thinking of asking both of you really, and I'll tell you what, this is going to be edited out because I can't remember what it was. What the hell was I going to ask you? It was very, very. Because I didn't ask you, Gus. Is there anything in your game that you think you need to, just improve or just tighten up a little bit?
Yeah, I think bowling's something that I'm going to work hard on this winter as well. I think there's just a few areas that I can get better at. Work on a few more skills of wide ball, some Yorkers, and my knuckleball. Just keep getting better at those, as well as just I think just generally getting stronger, which will just help me develop my bowling. I think with batting, it's come came on a lot this year. My batting, I worked really hard at it, particularly red ball batting came on a long way. So I think this winter probably have looked towards maybe a bit more white ball. Just keep developing that, and just a few more shots maybe. I need to actually have a think about it over this next month before I start my winter training about sort of those sorts of things. But off the top of my head, I think that would be what I'd go for.
Yeah. And have you both got sort of 4 or 5 weeks off now before it all starts again? Is that that's a good time to have a break, isn't it? September, October?
Yeah.
A whole month at least.
Yeah, no, I thought that would be the case. You need that downtime just to get over the season, don't you? What was I meant to ask you, Gus? What was it like sitting and watching the rain at Headingley last week? What did you manage to do in the changing rooms to fight off the boredom?
Well, to be fair, we didn't go into the ground until we had to on the first day, I think. I think we just stayed in the hotel for a bit, just walked around Leeds, went to a coffee shop or something like that. So, but other than that, when you did get there, it was pretty mind-numbing. To be honest, there's not much you can do to fight off the boredom. But no, I think we got going on the afternoon day too. So there's a bit sitting around.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's cricket for us, I suppose, in a nutshell in this country, isn't it? In a lot of respects. Right, I'm gonna go to you first of all. Then, actually, because you sort of alluded to the dressing room there. Who's the joker in your dressing rooms, Gus? I'll come to you first. Is it you or is it somebody else at Northants? Who's the real sort of joker in the pack?
I can think when I first joined, it was Nathan Buck. He isn't there anymore, but he's the first one that would come to, and Simon Kerrigan, but neither of which are actually there anymore. I think now there's more of just like a group of young lads that enjoy messing around a little bit. I can't think of any like one individual that was as good a joker as Nathan or Kegsy, but yeah.
How about you, Flo? Is there anybody in your? Is it you?
No, I wouldn't say it's me. I think Jo Gardner, someone who's like, she just has a different kind of energy to most people. She's kind of, when she's on one, she's on one. But I think Grace Scrivens as well, she doesn't stop. She loves like pranking people is one of the things that she finds is the funniest thing. So I'd probably say those two. Yeah.
Brilliant. Is there a sort of, are you enjoying each other's successes, and do you help each other, when things are not going so well? Is there a good atmosphere that, like you say, in the changing rooms? I'll go to you, Flo.
Yeah, I think so. We, as a group, collectively, I think one of the best things about our group at Sunrise is that everyone gets on. Like, genuinely, we have such a great, like we just create such a good environment, and everyone, really gets on. So we're always cheering each other's success, and there is always someone that you can go to if you are struggling and things like that. But I think that is, a lot of us do say that is the best thing about our team, is kind of how well we all get on and how close we are as a team. So yeah.
Is that similar to you, Gus?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think there's a few senior players in the dressing room that you can lean on if you're worried about things to do with your cricket and stuff like that. I also use some other like coaches outside of Northants, a little bit too for technical work that I sort of trust as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the older lads are really good with the youngsters. So no, they sometimes offer up some help if they feel like they've seen something or we might need it. But it's a good, healthy environment.
No, brilliant. That's good to hear. So I'm coming on then. Favourite player for you, Flo? Who's your favourite player?
I think probably Joss Buttler is like a family favourite in our family, particularly with the women. I think my mum, our mum, and our aunt as well are particular fans of his. So I'd probably say him.
Good stuff. Is that the looks or the cricket?
A bit of both, I think.
They're both. Okay. What about you, Gus? Who would be your favourite player?
I think it's always been Kevin Peterson, really. Obviously not playing anymore, but just like the way that he plays, and yeah, I think I've always looked at him as and definitely been my favourite player.
I did see him in the Legends, actually, played in the Legends just recently, and he was still smashing sixes. So, still the ability is still there, obviously.
Yeah.
Good. I always go to this. Has there been any funny incidents in games that you've played or in the changing rooms, or, just something that's happened on the field of play that has been a bit sort of out of the ordinary that doesn't normally happen on a cricket field? Flo's smiling, so I don't know whether she's got one for me or not there.
Yeah, I do actually. Mentioning earlier about Grace Scrivens and like her being a joke or whatever, she's also sometimes not very with it. And we were playing a game against the Diamonds at Headingley, and Mars, our keeper, was like running to get the ball because it'd gone like behind her and there was no one there. So she was running to get it and she'd thrown her glove down on the floor. And Scriv decided to pick the glove up and put it on and like receive the ball from Mars with the glove on, which obviously is penalty 5 runs, you can't do. But at the time it was so funny because you could just see everyone like shouting at her to not do it. But it was just one of those funny moments where she had a bit of a mind blank, and it's just funny.
Brilliant. What did she say afterwards? Did she just go oblivious to it, or just?
No, I think she realised quite quickly after that she couldn't have done it, but she was kind of looking around hoping that the umpires hadn't noticed, and like basically it was her reaction to it. So yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. They're probably not going to get away with it these days. That's the thing. Any for you, Gus?
I can't think of any like on-field ones. That I can think of something Nathan Buck did to one of my mates, Harry Goldstone. I think there was tea or lunch put on, and Bucky had had like 2 or 3 cookies in his spot or whatever, and I think Goldie like ate 1 or 2 of them or whatever, and then Bucky decided to put some smoked salmon in between his wicket keeping pads, so under the padding bit, and just left it in there for the whole season. Then by the end, Goldie was sort of going. He opened his bag. He's like, "Oh, it stinks in here." I don't know what's going on. By the end, obviously, someone told him it was disgusting, but it just stunk out his whole kit. That was,
he only realised at the end of the season.
Yeah,
fantastic effort. It's been good. That's been so interactive, and hearing you guys talk about it is just brilliant. So I love it. So I get a bit carried away on that. I was going to say, is there sort of any rivalry between the two of you? Or are you supportive of each other?
No, I wouldn't say there's any rivalry. No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like on the whole, it's much more supportive than a rivalry, to be honest, I think.
That's good. Did you, when you were younger, were you playing in your back garden together, or was it, no, I'll play with the lads and I'll play with the lasses? Was it a bit like that, or was it a little bit of together?
No, I think we played together quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, we've got a lot of videos of us in our old house in the back garden. We had like a strip of concrete that was like long enough and then a shed at the end. So I would always be standing throwing tennis balls at Gus, and he'd be there batting for ages. But we've got a lot of funny videos of that. So yeah.
And who? I didn't ask you in your individual interviews, but the support from your family has been terrific, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Our mum in particular has been extremely supportive of both of us. Like even just from driving us all around the country before we could drive and things like that. But she's always been our biggest supporter, I think, and will continue to be, I think. So yeah,
she does loads, to be fair.
And we do get a lot of family actually watching us, whether it's our grandparents. They've worked out how to set up YouTube, so they watch us from their living room, and one of our uncles comes. He loves kind of driving around the country and watching us and stuff like that, so we are very lucky that we do have a lot of support. So
yeah, that's lovely, and a big shout out to Heather, because a little while, so that's good. Who's the better player?
Well, it depends who you ask. No, I don't know.
Flo's played more, haven't you? You've played more professional games.
Yeah, I think I have played more professional games. But...
Oh, it's you then, Flo, definitely. Oh, that's lovely. I was going to say, did you used to support a cricket team back in the day, or not really?
Not that I can think of, to be honest.
No, I don't remember supporting a cricket team. I guess also because there wasn't so much in the women's game of like a local regional team or whatever, like there is now. So no, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've always supported Kent, and how rubbish are they at the moment? Anyway, I shouldn't say that, should I? But it was back in the day when Alan Knott and people like that were playing. They were some of my favourite players, you know. So Kent's always been my team, to be fair. Football side, who you supporting on the football side?
West Ham.
Yeah, I think that's just like I don't really follow football, but
all our dad's side are from the East End, so they've always been big West Ham fans.
See, I'm an Arsenal Aguna, you see, so that's not good. That's not good. Brilliant. I mean, just really the final question for both of you is if you could give advice to any youngster out there aspiring to be cricketer, whether it's just club cricketer, whether it's Ulstershire pathway or a pathway, or beyond that, what sort of advice could you give them? Flo, what do you think you could impart your knowledge and experience?
I think I would probably say if you are going to go into cricket and want cricket to be a career, I feel like probably having something outside of cricket that you can also focus on is probably quite a good thing, because cricket as a game can be quite consuming mentally and stuff. I think you need to have something away from cricket as well to have that kind of switch off. I think it's probably quite a good bit of advice, really, that has helped me, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, no, cool. Gus?
Yeah, I just think obviously just keep finding ways of enjoying it, because the more sort of seriously you take it and you're playing, then the more pressure you put on yourselves or you feel like there is on you. I think one of the interesting things that I just spoke to Ravi Bopara about this year was that no one really cares about your journey type thing. It sounded weird when he said it, and he was like, you're playing in front of a crowd, but in 2 or 3 days' time, whatever you do tonight, a lot of the people there won't care. They won't remember really what happened. So it sort of took that, and it's quite liberating. Just if you want to go out and try and whack everything, then you go and do that. It's your journey, and you just got to do it the way that you want to do it, type thing.
Enjoy the moment, isn't it? Actually, yeah. I think that's probably a good phrase. Question to both of you again here, more on a serious note. Are you allowed to, like the England setup at the moment, there's get on and play your cricket the way you play it. Is that very much embroiled now into your games as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at Sunrisers is kind of they're always telling us play without fear, and just go and play your game. I think sometimes it's kind of difficult. I've found it a bit difficult when you're trying to break into a team to try and just go out there without fear and just play your natural game, because obviously there's nerves and things like that around. But I think that's something, playing a lot this year and playing regularly and consistently being in the team, it's become easier to do that. But yeah, that is always a message that they are trying to give us.
You alluded to it earlier there, Flo, in what you said about being a mentally tough game, which it is, especially at the levels you're playing. Psychologists in your backroom staff, are they both sort of helping in those situations, I should say?
Yeah, at Sunrisers again, we're really lucky to have a really good sports psych. She's called Kate Green, and she has been absolutely brilliant. She's been with us since the start of Sunrisers. So I think I don't actually personally do too much with her, but I know for a lot of the girls, she's been pretty fundamental in their development and stuff like that. So I think it is definitely brilliant to have someone of her quality around in our group.
It's really part of the game now, isn't it? And is that the same for you, Gus, in the men's game?
Yeah, we did have one earlier in the start of the year, but I'm not sure if he's around anymore. When he was actually based at Loughborough when I was at Loughborough for a year, and so I used to see him sort of once a week, and which was really beneficial actually. So yeah, I think they play a big role.
Yeah, it is a big part of the game, I think, now, from what's happened in the past, and people are more open to it, aren't they, and stuff. So I think it is, it's really crucial that that's part of it. I think that's probably about wraps it up, guys. But a big thank you again from Ox Sports Unleashed to come on and spend a lot of time with me this morning. So thanks for that. And from everybody, obviously, we wish you all the very best in your continuing cricketing journey. And we hope that all goes well. And well done to both of you. And that was a great little interview. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darryl.
Thanks very much, Darryl. Cheers.
Are we coming back, Darryl? Oh, there we are.
I think I was thinking of
sack the amateur, and you're on mute as well, Darryl.
Something had to go wrong, and several things did go wrong there. Apologies. That was the producer trying to be clever with a little page break. It didn't quite work. So for that. But our thanks to Gus and Flo Miller, because they did give us an awful lot of footage there over a period of time, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was really good. Interesting with Grace Scriven picking up the keeper's glove and 5 penalty runs. You don't see that very often.
No, absolutely. And a big thank you to Wes for just pointing out who the amateur is at the start of that little interview as well. And I love the fact you said about 10 minutes to go, last question, and then you went on for another 10 minutes. That's what I do, Darryl, not you.
I'm learning from the worst, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we move on, though, actually, it is mindful to say this, isn't it? We have got so many talented cricketers that have come from this fine county. We talked a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, about all the ex-Oxfordshire lads on show at the T20 finals day. You got Gus and Flo there as well, and we've got Abby Norgrove, of course, and lots of others. It's something to be really proud of, isn't it, in our little county, that we are producing some seriously good cricketers, and I think it's only going to continue, isn't it? We've just got a very, very good record of getting the best out of people, Woodsy.
Good conveyor belt.
Absolutely. Just before we close the show, Darryl, just to show that people are watching, which is always nice to know, Tame United have got in touch with us, and they just asked us to plug that they have on Sunday, 2:00 kickoff, the Thames Valley Counties League Cup. Tame United ladies are at home to Longford Park in the League Cup. 2:00 kickoff at Meadow View, which is the ASM Stadium at Tame. Good luck to both sides, because Longford Park are also in Oxfordshire, of course, just about. So, congratulations on getting in touch with us, because it's nice to have that, because it just goes to show, Darryl, that we're not just talking to ourselves, which is good to know.
It's good to know.
And I gather we've also had a message from Coxie as well about the Walter Hayes Trophy this weekend.
Yeah, there's a Walter Hayes Trophy TV, so it's live on YouTube over Saturday and Sunday, the 2nd and 3rd of November. So
brilliant.
If you're a loss of what to do, you can get on YouTube. It's Walter Hayes Trophy TV. Just search that on YouTube, and you'll be able to find that trophy on there. So hopefully Ben can bring that trophy in when he comes.
or perhaps our social media guru Wes can do some work and put the link online, and then we can give him a little pay rise, maybe another 5p. We can stick the link to the YouTube channel on our channel.
So that's, I think,
it's an hour.
It's dead on the hour. So I think we can safely say we've done well. I'm how I've got through tonight, I have no idea. I've got to be honest, it's been a real struggle. My nose has been running. I've been coughing. I've been trying to mute myself when I'm struggling. So I hope it hasn't spoil any of the viewing tonight. Some great things on there tonight, actually. We should be live, fingers crossed, back at Oxford Downs next week without my colleague next week. So we'll have another presenter in the hot chair, in the hot seat, I should say, with me. But hopefully we can put again another package together that we're.
Will it be roller coaster ride or the locksmith next week? That's the question.
We don't know. We should have a poll, really, shouldn't we?
We should. I will probably be there. I will probably be there, but I think I'll be behind the camera next week, which is probably the best place for me, to be honest. So.
Face for producing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to bring to tonight's show? Okay.
No, I haven't. I think that's a decent show. Thanks again. Thanks for everybody for persevering with the technology on StreamYard. It's a bit of a trip back to the Mars Cricketer days, isn't it? When we did this every week during COVID. So in some ways, it's quite nice to do it on StreamYard for a week. But plus, it means I haven't got to buy a round at the bar afterwards because I'm at home.
True. I'm trying to think. Just up there, look, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Do that. And hit like and subscribe and hit your notification button. You'll never miss an episode. Would you want to? Let's be honest. But there we go. That about wraps up this week's episode of Ox Sports Unleashed. We thank you again for watching. And like I say, send any of those clips to oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We will be definitely using it. So thank you for that. The week that Pakistan won their first home series in 4 years, so well done to them. Played some good cricket against England, actually. And
England played some rubbish cricket, I would say.
Possibly, but they deserve to come out 2-1 winners. They're struggling tonight against the West Indies, 181 for 8 in the 50 overs. So hopefully they can do a little bit better on that. But that just about wraps it up. Thank you for watching Ox Sports Unleashed. Join us again next week where we'll unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.